big titty got chick, then I'm like, all right, hold on, let me wait a second. I'm like, might be interested in this,
Right.
And it's kind of hard to compete with that, especially being guys, right? So that's what I told him.
Or do I have a fucking truck? and it's what's funny on that shit too is like my fucking most popular video wasn't even my fucking car. It was fucking Long Beach Lloyd, the to live and die in LA car.
Yeah,
that's a video.
Because he has a following too. Yeah.
That's the one that took off. Mm-hmm. But anyway, are we? We're on.
Oh, we're on, boy.
Okay, well, fuck it.
What's up, guys?
Well, what's up, guys? What's up, YouTube? I haven't said that shit in a long time.
You haven't said that shit in a while, dude.
We got a very special guest today, known on Instagram as Victory Fleetline. You want to go and introduce yourself, Isaiah?
My name's Isaiah, and I work on bombs. I'm a mechanic from Whittier.
From Whittier, okay.
Yeah.
Let's fucking take it down to the fucking start. We were talking off camera a little bit about where you got your start at, and you had a 64 Bug, right? That's the first car that you ever owned, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, what got you fucking going down the line to get to being, a known bomb mechanic now?
I don't know, cause like all of us, bro. You know what I mean? Like we love the cars and stuff. So it's like I my first car was a Bug, and then I got two C10s. I've always been working on them. And at a young age, you don't really got that much money, so it's like you want to try to fix it yourself. And my grandfather, when I got out of high school, he was like, "Hey, you want a car?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want a car." He's like, "Well, you have to fix it." So we went to Pomona, and we just went down the aisles, and we're looking for a Bug, and I said I wanted that one, and we bought it. And ever since then, like, he just showed me little stuff and gave me tools and taught me how to work on them. And I guess some people are naturally mechanically inclined. I remember back when I had that Bug, I was working at UPS. Like the package sorters.
Okay.
How a lot of people, like, that's their first job.
That's how you start off.
Yeah. I was one of those, and I used to adjust my clutch too tight, and I was always snapping the cable because those things are all cable actuated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I pulled that engine out probably like 6 or 7 times, I swear. And then I had like 3 or 4 different engines. I dropped them, took them out, put them in. So very early on, I started, getting familiar with those things. And, I had family in construction, and, from where I grew up in Whittier, I thought that was like the thing to do, get into the union and, get a good job that way. And then my dad was a mechanic too. My grandfather was too. Naturally, just like, I don't want to be like them. I want to do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't get into it professionally right away until last, like, I would say 5 years professionally. But I've always been wrenching, and it's funny. You're doing the thing you're not supposed to be doing. It's not coming the way you want it right away. But right when I started wrenching and actually doing it professionally, just like that, I started getting busy. Everything started falling into place, and I was always trying to get into Caltrans for like I don't know, since I was like 18, and never called me. Sending in like the letters, the application. I was doing it online. Never called me, but then as soon as they put a post for mechanic, I applied. They called me 2 weeks.
No shit.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then I just started doing these on the side, and I just kind of went from there.
So for Caltrans, what do you normally? What's the day to day working on over there? Because I see, dude, I was tripping over there. I was like, damn, this dude's really fucking taking apart a whole ass engine and shit.
Yeah, tearing them apart and ripping them out of anything, like Ford V10s out of like the big work trucks, big diesels, heavy equipment. I do most of the trucks there, the smaller stuff. Every now and then the big ones. When I first started, I was doing the big trucks, but it sounds like a cliche, but working on those all day long, and then as soon as I get home, I just tear into these things. It's just like those things are so much more complicated. You get all the wires and the hoses, and the way the engineers design those things. It's like, man, what the hell were they thinking, bro? There's a lot of thinking involved. You got to remember stuff. So as soon as I get home, I just blow through these things like a tornado. You know what I mean? Just start ripping stuff apart.
No shit. When did you get the idea to start, your own fucking, like, to work on the bombs and shit?
I'll be honest. I mean, working for the state, they don't pay you that well. Good pension, the benefits.
Yeah.
Dude, they take over half my check just in, taxes and all that stuff. And so I needed money, and I had to do some stuff on the side, and you know, I did little things here and there. You know, adjusting carburetors, going to people's house, doing mobile stuff, and just for extra money. You know, and I already know how to do that stuff. I mean, I did. I used to go to my homie's house and do stuff for them. And like, hey, you should do. You should start doing it on the side. People are always looking for mechanics. And then my homie started putting my name out there, and someone needed help, and then they'll call me, and then I'll go over there, and then it kind of just
spread,
like snowballed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the way it is with mechanics and shit.
Yeah.
Everybody's always asking, "Hey, do you have a mechanic?" Like, and as soon as you throw that out there, yeah. Oh, okay. I feel like word of mouth in this community is crazy, dude.
It is, yeah, and I try to do things as professional as possible, and I want to do things the right way. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it just snowballed. You know, I used to go to mobile stuff more often, but now that people are bringing cars to my house, it's just I can't do mobile stuff anymore as much as I wanted to. But yeah, I definitely I enjoy it, man. It's just I don't think about it. You know, I get very little sleep. I go to bed like late. 11 o'clock at night. I had to get up at 4:30 to go to work. Right after work, I come straight working on these things, and it's just, I just do it just because I love it. You know, I don't even think about it. It's not even an afterthought. You know, it's just part of me, I guess. You know.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah.
What would you say the community, as far as like getting into to working on these cars, have you had any issues with being as young as you are? Because like I said, I will be the first one to say that I thought you were older when I was messaging you, because I hit you up about my ride, and
Right.
I thought, like, what would you say that's kind of been like, you have to prove yourself a little bit more in the game? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's like one of the top things that I kind of have to deal with, and it's like we were talking about before. I gotta, no bullshit. I just want to, take care of business.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys like to bring it up, and I understand, but just I know what I know because I learned it from my grandfather, my dad. It's in my blood. I obsess over this shit. Like I have books, bro. I have like the big freaking parts books. I have old books from the 50s, and I read those stuff. I went through them, and I learned it. Experience too, working on these things. I drove these as a daily driver for at least almost 10 years. And, I know what it's like driving these things on a hot day. I used to live in Palm Springs for about 2 years when I was working out there. I had my bug out there. It was like 120 degrees.
How would that? Damn.
Yeah.
Air cooled.
Air cooled, bro. I took the hood off and let the air flow into it. Yeah, I was all sweating with the white beater on, just cruising around, and my shirt rolled up. Just
Had to have fucking extra set of clothes and shit in there.
Man. Like out there, there's the air doesn't help at all. Blowing at it's like a blow dryer. You're blowing at you. And then I had my C10 out there, my 63, and it had a 250. That thing never broke down on me, never overheated. That's where I kind of learned my little idea on how to keep these things cooler. It doesn't look original, but the way I like to do them, because of the stuff I had to deal with living out there, is how I kind of maintain them and how keep them cool. The stuff I learned out there, and like those kind of things. I mean, just the experience. I mean, that's how I learned these things.
Yeah.
So I just try to not talk too much. I just work, and people kind of when I used to do mobile stuff, the guys would stand there and watch me while I'm wrenching. I'm like, all right, don't fuck up. Like I know how to do this. You know that feeling?
When someone's fucking
second guessing yourself.
Of course,
it's natural. But, it is what it is. But yeah, I get that a lot, man, all the time.
No, it's the same thing. Like, we work at Kaiser, so we're like, general maintenance guys and shit, and people will hit you up a lot of the times, like, oh, do you do this? Like, yeah, I can go. Do you do fixture? Do you do I changed the light bulbs in this fixture, but it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I can do it. You show up. It's usually a nurse, so it's a chick. You show up to her house, and her husband's just there watching you, like, oh yeah, that's a bad ballast, huh? Like, yeah, bro, I get it. I know you. Then why didn't you do this? If you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're watching you, and you're like, look, you're over there fucking fumbling, you're dropping wire nuts, and it's like, yo, I do this all the fucking time.
Breathing down your neck.
Yeah, but you're fucking watching me, so I'm gonna be fucking nervous. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like, fuck, don't drop a fucking light bulb right now. Who's gonna think you're an idiot? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because a lot of the times we get that too. Like, I got that heavy when I started welding and shit. It was like, well, what the fuck do you know? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, you have to be really competent and really know what you're talking about, because that's what's gonna happen right off the bat. You slip up, you say something wrong, it's gonna be like, oh,
yeah,
fuck.
and then you also got to take the punches too. There people are gonna drag you down, say shit, bullshit with you, make fun of you and stuff like that. And sometimes like us being young and shit, like we take it to heart and like we want to fucking I'm gonna prove you wrong, this and that.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's not the correct attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sometimes
it's
just
natural,
take it, and hey, maybe that one fucking old geezer that keeps fucking with you later on is like, okay, this guy's pretty cool. He took the shit. Let me help him out real quick.
I've had that too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like I was saying earlier, like once you start getting involved with stuff that you're meant to be in, everything falls into place.
Yeah.
I have not had better friends in my life than now.
Yeah.
Just through this car stuff, like all the people I met, even like the old OGs, the old guys that I met working on their cars. Man, these great people, man, like amazing people. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just
I feel like
I make good friends through this.
Exactly, and he trips out on it a lot, and my girl trips out on it a lot. It's fucking. They have time. Mm-hmm. The thing that we kind of, as younger guys in the game, trying to fucking trying to make a living and shit, and trying to figure out, still trying to make our way. They already been there, done that. Mm-hmm. So it's like as long as you have the time to listen, they'll have the time to fucking let you put you down and run your own game and shit. And I feel like a lot of parts that I have on my truck, like big respects to the OGs out there because, bro, all it took was a conversation about like, talking about the truck and shit. And like, like at the end of it, like we sit there bullshit for like an hour and a half about cars and shit. And then all of a sudden, well, that steering wheel you're looking for, like I got one. I was like, you have one? Like, yeah, I have one. He's like, you come by the house tomorrow, we'll dig it out, and you know what I mean, and that's how I got a lot of the parts, bro. Like, dude, pulling out the butt, like, damn, dude, like, you had a fucking OG, butterfly, and even just that conversation got you the part, and a lot of the times, bro, that like I've gotten mad love, bro. I've gotten mad love for what a repop went for. That's what I paid for, my butterfly, and it's like all that was just making the connection, shaking hands and genuine, exactly, and not even looking at it in the sense of like, oh, hopefully this fool has parts, or you know what I mean. It's just not, hey, how did you do this?
Right.
What can I do to fix this? And then just sitting there and just bullshitting, and you know what I mean. Yeah. You'll let something slip, like, oh, like, well, what are you looking for and shit, and like, oh yeah, I'm looking for this, but if it happens, it happens. If not, whatever.
Come across it, cool.
And then, fucking a lot of the times, dude, like, hey, I got those caps for your bed in the back. Like, hey, let me know. Why don't you have them? I was like, blah blah blah. I got you. You know what I mean? Shit like that, dude. It's crazy. And everybody's so nice, bro. That's what I fucking have found out in this fucking shit, bro. They really do.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoy it so much, man. It's just like I said, I don't even think about it no more. It's just you're in the world, and you meet all these great people, and it just everything falls into place.
It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
It's pretty crazy because
the way things should be.
Remember that one time we stopped at La Paz, and then there's that one dude with the, what would he have, Nova or Chevelle?
He had a Chevelle.
And then because he saw his truck and said, oh, that shit's tight. And then we're like, oh, your shit's tight. And then we look in his interior, and he's like, oh yeah, I just got this shit done. And then he was like, guess how much? And then we're throwing numbers, and he's like, nah, this much. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, I got the guy's number. You want it? And it was like, fuck
that's
yeah.
And the same
that's
thing.
The way, dude.
And that was the same thing that I was doing when I was all fucking hyped that I got my shit. I'm like, I want to fucking get this fool out there. Let everybody else know. I've sent a couple guys his way and shit, and it's like, hey man,
that's what's up. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's all, bro. Let's be honest. This is not like for a lot of people in this shit. It's not like you're a rare breed. You were fucking using this shit as your daily. Mm-hmm. When you're using it as your daily, I feel like you're not as in tune to like, all right, I don't really need to do seats this week. You know what I mean? I'm more mechanically want to make sure this shit gets me where I want to go and shit. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if it's a second car, if you're younger, whether you're older, whatever, I mean, you got bills. You know what I mean? You want to try to find,
hard sometimes,
highest quality work for at a steal sometimes. So I try to throw the bones out there as much as I can, just so that
you have to, man. I think that's the way it should be done too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like if you and I never I try never to fucking like if I have something that somebody needs or like I'm throwing shit away, I always throw it out there. Like hey, like my buddy Primo tattooer at was it my old tattoo parlor?
Yeah, my old. What is it? My old time.
I think it's my old tattoo parlor.
Oh, sorry if we fucked the name.
Yeah, my
up,
bad,
honestly.
bro. He's watching this shit right now. But like, anytime I get rid of something, I always let him know, like, hey, because he's working on one. Like,
Oh,
if
okay.
I don't want it,
That's
maybe
what's
he
up,
wants
yeah.
it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I know how it is, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
fucking,
yeah, dude.
it's rough. It's rough out there.
Yeah, man. And like even when I'm working on these things for somebody, you know, I always try to like do a little extra. So I'll try to find something. You know what I mean? Like I'll be doing a full rewire and the engine's running a little rough, and I'll check it out. And I'm not gonna whatever. You know what I mean? Like you just try to help the guy out. You know, and I always try to find still little stuff like that to do for people. And I save some parts here and there. Someone like go ahead and keep it. All right, sure, all right. And I'll put it on the shelf for the next guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll try to help somebody else out and just things like that, man. Just you gotta do it once in a while.
Well, you talk to like people like my grandfather who was in the scene in the 50s.
Yeah.
When it was, hey, you do paint and body, I do, and it was the way the club was formed. Like you had a paint and body guy who was in the club, you had an engine guy who was in the club, you had a transmission guy. You know what I mean? Everybody had their own little thing. So it was like when one of the guys in the club got their car, or the new guy come in the club, once they put him in, it's like, all right, cool. We're gonna send you down to this guy. Go help him out in the shop, and we'll do this, trade work for this. You know what I mean? It was always, that's the way it was.
Right.
It's not a lot of this fucking like, oh well, yeah, I got a guy, but he's expensive, or you know what I mean, like shit like that. It was always, hey, I'll help you do this. That's what the clubs were all about. You know what I mean? That's how they started to form and shit. And it was a lot of the dudes coming back from Korea, like my grandfather.
Oh yeah.
Coming back into trying to be, back to civilian
Back to
lifestyle of how it was, but they formed them because it was a lot of like still coming into like a platoon, like a division, you know what I mean? Ran it like a military operation because, it was getting back into being normal, but still having, president and, different fucking, just like the biker clubs and shit.
Hanging out with your boys.
Hanging out with the boys and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
At the end of the day, that's what it should be about, right? Just hanging out with your boys and either the cars or the bikes, and talking about that.
It's fellowship.
Yeah, fellowship.
Exactly.
But like I say, it's a little different. Like back in the day, man. Back in the day, guys actually worked on their shit. A lot of times, it's not because we don't know. Like, I'm not too mechanically inclined. I can do certain shit, but then there's certain stuff I'm like, okay, I gotta send it to the guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have him take care of it so I don't fuck this shit up.
Like, don't expect me to go drop my I'm an engineer, but don't go tell me to fucking drop
pull
my
out a
rear end. I'm
fucking-
gonna go to Isaiah, hey, bro, you do this shit all the time.
Right.
I fucking don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
brakes, dude. We were just talking about that shit. Like, dude, I'm not gonna go over there and fucking try to change out my fucking brakes.
What if I don't stop?
From drums to discs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. What if I fuck it up and I have no brakes? You know what I mean? Like, you
Exactly,
pick and
yeah.
choose your battles and shit.
Right.
Like, me and this fool, they gave me a quote on a window regulator. And I was like, fuck that shit. Let's go try to do it ourselves,
In
right?
your truck?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So, 1950, they decide to get rid of the big panel at the bottom of the fucking door so that you could fucking
That long
fit your
one,
arm.
right? It goes like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it goes to a small one like that. So it's basically just
like
good thing I have
this.
skinny arms, dude. So it's like, dude, and the way those things work, like we still kind of have a little fucking gap in the window, but I don't give a fuck.
Who cares? It
Yeah.
shuts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it closes.
But the fucking
closes, yeah.
it goes up and down, right? Because the thing is like fucking, you have to line up like those 3 fucking wheels and there's tracks.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's fucking, and then if you fucking, that shit fucking like, it bends and shit. So
You know,
we had to
it's
take
stuck,
it. We
too.
had to take it out one time because we put it in and it was fucking it was all the way up or whatever. We put it in backwards.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, fuck. So there we are, fucking pull it in again. But like, we did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took us fucking 3 hours to put one
It could
in.
have been like an hour job, but then at the end we were like, fuck, maybe the next one you probably should have sent it out to the guy.
Yeah, but
Fuck,
somebody else
man.
do it next time.
You know what I mean? But it's like at the same time too. It's like, shit like that. You see the parts that That's when you you really realize like a repop part from what they had back in the day, bro.
Yeah.
Because those repop door cranks. You're
Oh,
fucking
dude.
OG fucking regulator where it comes out, where the spindle comes out
Yeah.
and that hooks up.
Yeah.
Bro, they eat those like candy
Dude,
because
I know,
it's soft.
The metal soft. Yeah. And those little teeth, you don't get them in there right. It just
Yup.
fucking
Yeah.
it keeps on going.
Because that's what I told this. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
one of them was starting to go. I'm like, fuck it, let's replace it and shit. But it's like, I still have the same problem.
Yeah.
I like to put my windows down and pretty much all the
course,
time.
yeah, of
but I
course.
gotta roll them up when I park and shit like
Yeah,
that. So
night
it's
or
like,
whatever,
yeah. So you fucking like you could. That's where I really realized, I was like, damn, like I understand why people look for OG parts
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's insane, dude.
I
Insane.
had that problem before on my old Bug. I bought all brand new stuff and all my I had like extra ones on the floor, and I'll just pick it up and I'll roll it down the window, put it.
Yeah.
I do shit like that all the time. So when I got this thing, I bought all original cranks.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they were great, but you know, because of the door panels and shit like that, I could put the spring on there and all that. I just leave them off. But yeah, dude, yeah, it's big difference with those original parts for sure. Always
Going from
especially
that
on
and
body stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what would like on your business? Let's talk about the business side of things. When did you really realize that okay, fuck, I could turn this into like a legitimate side hustle, like you said? When did that really fucking pop off?
When I was getting calls every day,
Really?
nonstop. Yeah. Some days would be like 2 or 3, sometimes 5, 10. Just depends. Like
Damn.
my the other was it yesterday? The other day, I was with somebody and my phone was just kept going and going. I was like, man, I don't want to be rude and keep answering it, but you know, it's just when I started getting calls like that, and then yeah, and then I making money and stuff, and I was like, shit, I gotta do something with this stuff, and people calling me, and I heard some references here and there, like, oh, Isaiah, call Isaiah, or I'll be at car shows and the homie be like, oh, this is Isaiah, and I'll meet some guys from another club, or I'm like, damn, I need to like do something with this because at some point, I can't just. It's kind of like I wouldn't say what's that word? ADD's kicking in. I'm going blank, but
Don't trip. That's what we hear all the time.
yeah, dude, what's that word like? I get so many people hitting me up, start working on so many cars. I get people, hey, can I pass by so you can look at this? And I'll check it out. When it came to that point, I had it's like a duty. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, if I stop doing this, like, who are these people gonna call now?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other guys out there, of course, and there's a lot of badass mechanics out there. I'll tell you right off the bat, there's guys better than me. There's guys been doing it longer than me. But I felt like it was part of me. Like it's like something I had to do.
It was like your calling.
My calling. Yeah.
I'm sure you got that thing where it's you got that vibe of you see it too. Like right now, there's like I wouldn't like a resurgence, I would say, in the scene. Like with social media and all these like FB County, all these brands, bringing back the fucking the Charlie Browns and the Pendletons and shit.
Yeah.
Like I know you see it as a sense of like, okay, the scene's kind of coming back in a way. People are starting to go to car shows. Like, you know what I mean? It's starting to come back in a way. But once that fucking hill goes back to being where it was, where you're showing up to fucking donut derelicts in the morning and it's just the OGs who are there, the same cats who,
have always been there.
Sunday morning who it's just, the guys who keep it about the cars,
Right.
where Legion Park is not fucking bumper to bumper for fucking 3 hours and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it goes back to the way it used to be,
Yeah.
you'll still be there carrying on the tradition. I feel you, dude, and that's a lot of what it is. Is like what you're doing is bigger than just being a mechanic, bro. Because how old are you? You're what?
29.
You're 29 years old. So
Yeah.
you're only fucking
Younger than me.
You're younger than him, and you're a couple years older than me. But see, what you're doing, Isaiah, is so important because.
Yeah.
When these older mechanics that you're talking about, when they hang it up and say, fuck that, I don't want to pull out fucking rear ends anymore. I don't want to do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
Who's going to fucking do it?
Yeah, and I was thinking about, bringing that up too. I had a few people tell me, it's just like, at some point, these guys are not going to be around no more, and then who else is going to be doing it? And the stuff I learned, I try to carry it on, and I've learned some old school way of doing things too, but I also try to do things by the book, and, there's a lot of different ways of doing stuff, but, like you were saying too, I want to help carry it on, it fell onto me, I was just doing my thing, and I love what I do so much where it's just like I get coffee every morning. I don't even think about it. It's just like working on these cars. I don't even think about it no more. It's just what I do, and I just want to carry it on at some point. I'm gonna have to do the same too and show some other people, and you know what I mean. Just keeping the lifestyle going.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's pretty cool because there's that saying where the fucking the gardener that the guy that works in gardening or landscaping, right? Like that he does all day. The last thing he wants to do is go home and fucking do that shit at home, right?
Yeah.
So that's the good that you
Right,
have that
right.
mentality where you don't mind still going home and still
Yeah.
working on similar,
Right.
a little different, but pretty much similar to what
Yeah.
you do on your
Oh,
9 to 5.
Absolutely.
So
Oh yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's what I do. It's like it's what I do professionally. That's my day job too as a mechanic. It's not like a hobby. I know how to do these things just because I was around it growing up. It's what I do.
So how long was your dad and your grandpa in the scene back in the day too, or?
No, not so much. My grandfather he's from East LA. They grew up on in East LA from First and Herbert, that little
okay.
area.
Okay.
And they had Impalas. They had a couple like my grandfather had a Bel Air. His first car was a 50 Fleetline. That was a 2-door.
Oh, okay.
But he wasn't like all in a club. He wasn't like out cruising and stuff. He was just doing his thing too. Trying to. He ended up having 6, 7 kids.
That was just that was just
know?
the affordable car back in the day.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
That was the Honda Civic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He learned how to drive in that 50, and then I think his first actual car that was his. It was a 56 Bel Air, and then he had a bunch of bugs. My dad got into muscle cars. He had a Malibu, a '64 Malibu.
Oh, okay.
He had an El Camino, but he was a mechanic at Ostrom Chevrolet in Montebello.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even think it's called Ostrom no more. Right? It's just called Montebello Chevy. Something.
I think it's Montebello Chevy.
Yeah. This is back in the '90s, and he was doing the Corvettes, and he was in his 20s too.
Oh shit.
And they were always wrenching my deals too. They weren't professional, but they have all done it too. My deal used to work at a salvage yard back in the '70s, so he was always coming up on cars.
Oh,
I would
okay.
hear stories like there's a family car that's still in our family. One of my cousins, well, he's kind of like an uncle, but one of my cousins, he has its 65 GTO. It was one of my deals, and it got passed around to like some other deals, and you know what I mean. So now he has it, and he fixed it up. It's just like it's always been the family. Those kind of that being a mechanic and working on cars, having cars and stuff like that.
When are you a part of a club right now? I think you are, right?
Yeah, Hermanos.
Hermanos.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys based out of Whittier?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all live in a tight little area. We're all in the same neighborhood. You know what I mean?
shit.
It just kind of happened that way too.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
So
we're all homies.
how long have you been in your club?
Oh man, since the beginning of this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
they-
guys just decided to fucking fuck it. We'll start our own shit.
Yeah. They started it, and it was just the two of them, Brian and Roland, and then they're cruising around in their cars, and then the homie Brian's son, Anthony. Shout out to Anthony, Boulevard Detailing.
There you go.
That's my
Shout
homie that I
out.
work with all the time. He got his Dodge. He had that before I met him too. It's a '51 Dodge, and he got it working. I helped him a little bit here and there, and he got in the club. And then I just hang out with them naturally. They live around the block, and I see them all the time. We're always, calling, or we talk to each other every day. So this one day they're like, "Hey, you want to be in the club?" And I was all, "Yeah, what the fuck? I thought you were gonna ask me a long time ago." I thought about it for a little bit too, because I'm really busy. I'm always working. Like, no disrespect to nobody that's whoever's watching too. I sometimes I don't answer people because I'm just, I'm under a car or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But, I was kind of, I was a little
Kind of
Was it-
debating it.
Yeah, because I was like, man, if I'm in a club, then I gotta go here, we gotta go there, I gotta do these cruises, I gotta do that. But then they told me off the bat, like, hey, man, we know you're busy. It's if you can't make it, you can't make it. I'm like, all right, then it's just, all right, cool. You know what? Then first, I'll do it. So I joined the club, and they're like brothers,
Fuck
just
yeah.
like the name Hermanos,
Yeah.
So
That's fucking sick, dude.
we take care of each other. They're like I was saying earlier, I never met better friends than them. I'll tell you,
I feel like you hit it on the head with that, bro. I mean, it's a fucking community where you won't have enough money for drugs because it's fucking expensive. You know what I mean? And
Shits, yeah.
fucking it's not getting any cheaper. And I feel like, everybody's willing to help you, dude. As long as you're willing to listen, they're willing to help you.
Exactly.
Whether their idea is right or not, I mean, they're
Yeah.
gonna fucking try to help you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and then you showing effort too to throw your hand or out there when they need help too. So that people
Exactly.
are a lot more willing to hear you out and help you out too.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
And I've never fucking the first fucking week that I was cruising my truck, just being fucking pulled over on 2nd Street, right? Like, just not even just pulled over. Fucking, I've never had it where fucking 2 people. It was a Fleet Line and it was a 57.
Nice.
Bel Air. They pulled over and they said, "Hey, you good, mijo? You good? Like, everything cool?"
Oh,
I've never had it where
that's
like, and I was just, I was like, "Nah,
cool,
we're
man.
just chilling. We're eating some. We were eating and then we were, drinking a fucking." I think it was water or whatever, but we were just
Red Bull
fucking Red Bull,
Yeah,
some shit.
whatever,
We were
yeah.
just pulled over and we were fucking taking a break
just
from the
chilling.
cruise and shit. And
Yeah.
and I fucking never had that where like I had 2 dudes stop. Hey, you good? Like, everything cool? You guys need a ride or anything? I'm like, nah, we're cool. We're just chilling and fucking pull out. But I've never had that. And that's fucking it's cool. It's a fucking dope community to be a part of, bro.
Absolutely.
So, Isaiah, what was one of the fucking jobs from hell that you've gotten yourself into as a mechanic, bro? The one that really sticks in your head where it's that car where it's like, fuck, thank God that shit rolled out of my driveway.
You know what? This thing right there. That fucking piece of shit. I was kidding. No. You know what? Honestly, bro, I never had that.
Really?
Yeah. Not to mean it in any way, but there are always challenges. I mean, I'll be honest. Working on old cars, you're gonna run into a lot of shit. Rusted bolts. You take things apart, they break off because they haven't been touched in like 50 years, and it happens every time. If I guess I could say every single one, not really, but for the most part, I mean, no, there's definitely a challenge on every single car, but I never like felt like, oh fuck, finally, never had that problem, and
I guess
but that thing right there for sure, man. Like just to get it, I had to bust a mission. I went on a Wednesday to San Diego to pick that up with my truck on a trailer. Went to the homeboy Joey, and we did straight trade. He drove it around. He said, "Okay, it's yours." I put it on a trailer. Went home on the work night. Got home like 11:30. Parked it, and I stared at it. And I was like, "Man, what the fuck did I just do?" Fucking the paint was peeling. It was all primer. The engine was all trash. It didn't run. There was like cat hair on the motor. The like radiator had some like white shit coming out. I was like, why did I do that? I just had a running truck, man. Yeah, and then it was a slow process. I got it going, but no, I never had that problem, bro. To be honest.
That's fucking. I mean, I guess that just really proves that you love what you do, bro.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, dude, if you're fucking not seeing an issue on, rusted bolts or any type of if you never ran into a challenge that you didn't like, then I think I would have to say that really means you love what you do, bro. Dude, genuinely.
I'm that kind of person. You work on these things, you spend a lot of time by yourself, and you spend a lot of time thinking. And I learn a lot about myself working on these cars. And there's a lot of things you gotta learn, like taking rusted bolts off. Things snap. You gotta figure out how to extract bolts. Best feeling ever is taking out an old bolt that was shaved right off, and it what I mean, it happens, but you learn how to do those things, and when you learn how to do stuff right and you have the right tools, your job's easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
If you're using a screwdriver as a chisel and it's not working and you're just gouging stuff, of course you're gonna get pissed off, because you don't have the right tool.
Yeah. I think that's like 60 or 70% of the job is having the right shit. Exactly. You know what I mean? Because you'll make your job a lot harder if you're fucking, like you say, you're using a fucking flathead for a chisel or whatever.
You're trying to fucking figure out a fucking way that's not the way to get this shit out.
Yeah, and you're working double.
Like on these old on the Chevys from the 50s, you ever seen those bolts? They're like clutch screws. They look like a little bow tie.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah. I mean, we come across it.
Bro.
Pain in the ass, but they have the tool for that.
Okay, so what is it called?
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's a clutch screw.
Okay,
clutch, like the clutch in a car.
We had people call it, what do they call it? The Black Widow or
bit.
some shit like that. Or like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, because, okay, so you could find something similar. And, bro, we went everywhere, dude. We went everywhere to look for that goddamn... Because I have them... They're all over the truck. Yeah. And I was like, damn, we're thinking...
All the fenders, right?
Yeah, we're thinking... Like, fuck, did whoever had this shit, like, did they put this on here to fucking... for security purposes? Yeah. I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Like yeah. I was like, ain't nobody gonna take none of this shit off, you know what I mean?
Fuckers.
And I was like, damn, like, asking people, hey, what's this shit called? Like, it's a Black Widow bit. And I was like, what? I fucking tried to Google it, and it ain't nothing coming up with that terminology, bro. Yeah. There's got to be another way. And we looked into security bits, and it's not the bit because that bit the security bit only runs up to a certain size.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there ain't no way this shit's gonna fit in my bed.
That's old school shit, right?
You know,
that's what it is. Yeah.
And it was because we were working on that window regulator.
Yeah,
we were
that's
trying
where
to
we
take
came
the
up
shit
with it.
apart, right? Yeah. So I was like, I don't know, bro. He's like, well, fuck, dude. Well,
So we ended up finding a bit that some guy gave us, but it wasn't like the correct one or the right size.
Yeah.
So we had to be very careful and just like go slowly and
Yeah.
not to fucking strip it or whatever.
The stuff is out there. It's just you gotta look for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was a common tool back then. Snap-on used to make them, and I have a couple.
Oh,
I
okay.
have 3 bits for the small ones, and then I have 2 for the bigger size. I really use the bigger one, but you just like we're referring to, you just gotta find the right tools. You know what I mean? Once you get the right one, and it goes right in, comes right off. Like
yeah,
anything, you know?
yeah. No.
But if you jab a screwdriver in there and you start rounding it out,
Yeah.
it's not coming out, and you get all pissed off. And then I had to get vice grips before. This is when I first started messing with them, and they come off. But yeah, I was able to find them, and and the funny thing was, the Snap-on truck that I go to at work. He's an old guy. He's probably in his 70s, and he had those fucking bits on his truck. And they're way in the back on the shelf with all the other bits. And I was like, oh, shit, I grabbed it. Like, you know, fucking from Willy Wonka. Like, I was like, like, you know, I grabbed it. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I found it, you know.
Yeah.
And I sold him, and he was even tripping out. I was like, oh, those are those old bits from Chevys. And he's all, man, I haven't sold one of those in forever. It was all rusted, too. And right away, I picked them up. I bought them. It was just 2 bits. And I've used them, you know, and it makes things a lot easier. When
Oh
you
yeah,
have
I
the right
fucking
shit.
bet, dude. I was like, we're over here fucking like, goddamn, and I forget what the fuck. There's a name for the one we were using, not the fucking prod bit you bought.
It didn't sound like a clutch.
It didn't sound like
clutch
a
or
fucking
anything.
clutch.
It's called a clutch bit.
Nah, man.
Clutch screw. Yeah.
And we were fucking. We got it out, and I told him, fuck this. I don't give a fuck what it looks like. I don't care if this shit's original. We're putting regular fucking Phillips heads in there because I'm not dealing with this shit again.
Yeah, no, I second that, bro. I would do that too. Is put like bolts or whatever.
Well, because like it's not even like, okay. I mean, now it seems like correct. Like, okay, you went with the bed. That's period correct, right?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, because we were looking, I was like, dude, these shits, they're fucking all over the truck, bro.
Yeah.
There ain't no way we should be able to fucking find them. And like I said, I thought it was for fucking security purposes, like, because we work at a hospital. So we get all these weird fucking, you know,
Security bits
and shit. So
Oh,
I was like, yeah, but my fucking client said it had like a couple of them, but I'm like, this shit, nah, it ain't the right one, dude. Fucking A. But yeah, shit like that. It's you could laugh about it after, but when you're fucking on the hunt and shit, it's like
going crazy.
Yeah,
man.
and that's the shit too, like, you know, asking questions and stuff, like, you know, asking people certain things, and they'll tell you, hey man, yeah, this is what, like, right now, this is what it's called. Okay, now we fucking know, you know?
Yeah. I know, man. Yeah, once you've been around or these things enough, you know, you start picking up on those little shits, you know what I mean?
okay.
Yeah.
You want to fucking get into your new endeavor that I see on Instagram? You're making spark plug wires now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk a little bit about that?
You know, someone hit me up. They're looking for it, and I mean, they wanted some made, and they asked me, and I've done them before, but I never like put it out there. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, you know what? I'll make one, and then I made them, and then I posted it because I try to post stuff, you know, with social media and you know, marketing.
You gotta promote yourself. Promote yourself.
Yeah, you want to kind of show what you're doing. So I did that, and right away people started asking me, and I was like, fuck, should I? And then I'm getting 11 cars that I got to do it for. I'm still waiting for them to come in the mail, the materials. But I was like, oh shit, like a lot of people want these done. I was like, why hasn't more people done it? But I do know in the past, you know, working on these cars, some people buy the ones from Truck Shop, and they got those little like clips, and they go over the spark plug.
Yeah.
And they always fall off. So what I do is I get dikes and I crimp them around the spark plug. That's how they stay on. But they never stay on tight, and they fall off. And then they start arcing too sometimes from one spark plug to another. And you know, there's a lot more detail that goes into it. You're not really supposed to use them with Pertronics because they don't work with them. But it's the way they're made. And there's some other guys that I've seen that made them too. So I don't know if they still are, because every now and then I'll see someone post, hey, selling these, and then I don't. So they threw it out there, and yeah, now I'm just gonna try to make them, see if I can make time for it too.
New endeavor on that.
Yeah.
And for all the people watching, where can they get at you for work? I know, and I'll tell you right now, don't be fucking discouraged when this man hits you back up, because I hit him up and he hit me up with, This was fucking. Well, now we're getting close. He's like November 18th. I'm like, God damn, November 18th. And I was like, all right, bet. And I hit him up again. I was like, hey, we still, yeah, I got you. November 18th.
I got you
was
down,
like,
bro.
I was like, all right, cool. I was
Yeah.
like, God damn. But I was like, you shot me off a date. I'm like, shit, well, fuck. Hey, good for you being busy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
fucking, don't get discouraged if he shoots you a 3-month out there.
Yeah, 3-month waiting
Fucking
waiting
be patient.
period.
I don't mean to do it that way. No disrespect, but it's just I'm busy and it's just one of me. I got my homies helping me now too, which is it's great. And I enjoy it too. The homies and they're both mechanically inclined. One of my other homie Harold, he's a mechanic too, so he gets down as well. So it helps a lot. So I'm starting to catch up. I'm kind of falling behind. So I mean I don't I'm doing my best to stay on track, but. For the most part, yeah. But on Instagram, Victory Fleetline, or _ Victory _ Fleetline.
Okay.
That's where most of my business is coming from, or word of mouth. My phone number gets passed around, but yeah.
Hit him up on Instagram.
Yeah, hit him up
Be
on
out there.
Instagram.
I'll get to you guys when I can. Yeah, sorry if I leave you unread, but I see it. I'm gonna hit you up when
I'll get to you eventually.
Yeah, I'll get to you. I'm sorry, but
Shit, that's what's up. You have any advice for like any younger people that are trying to get into like the trade of being a mechanic or anything like that? Because that's one thing we like to push too. Because we're in the trade, and it's not always about going to college, getting that 4-year degree in Chicano studies like she did. You know what I mean? And now she's not. Look where she's at now. Like what advice do you give? Like,
that's a great question because I kind of been in that situation myself where I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Without going too far into detail, I was at some point where it's like, fuck, I feel like I don't really got nobody. It's just me, and I got to figure some shit out, And I didn't really have anybody mentoring me either. I didn't have anybody telling me, hey, you need to do this, do that, keep your shit straight. I didn't have none of that. So I made mistakes. We all have. But, like I was saying kind of earlier, I started off in construction, early on out of high school, and I always hated it. I got a bad back sometimes. Every now and then it gets sore, but I think that's when you get older.
Yeah, it happens.
Start that way, but it's from construction. But I was like, man, I hate construction. Being outside in the sun, lifting shit. I mean, that's some people are meant to do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't, man. I definitely wasn't. So I mean, my hats off to the guys that do it and for a living. Especially the guys that have to do it. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to taking a leap of faith and just doing what you want to do, what you always dreamed of. Because I always thought about becoming a mechanic. I did take some classes at Rio Hondo when I was like 19.
Okay.
And then what happened? I did a couple classes and then I stopped going to school. I think it's because I had to start working like full time, and I wasn't able to go back. But I always thought about it. I had my bug. I used to drive up there all the time, and I always worked on that. But anyways, without going to a tangent, but just don't be scared. Just at least try, make the time to, do something. Whether it's like, I don't know, something that everybody kind of looks down on. If it is, it's like, oh, I want to do some weird something, and most people don't look at that's something that you should be doing.
Yep.
Fuck, if that's what you want to try doing, if that's your dream, if that's all you think about, just try. At least because I didn't have anybody tell me that, and for a long, that's why I kind of done things a little slower. Because I wasn't too sure, and I never had anybody giving me a push, And one day I was like, fuck, man, I need to stop doing construction. I need to get out of this, and it was starting to bug the shit out of me. And I started getting older, I started getting closer to 30. I'm like, fuck, man, I really need to fucking make a change because I'm not happy. I was always like pissed off in a bad mood all the time. I didn't like being that way. I hate it. It's not a good feeling, and one day I was like, I'm gonna just take classes at least. So I was doing construction and I was going to school at a Citrus College for diesel, and I loved it. I was like into it. I was like, I was taking screenshots on my phone of like the when they give you the PDFs, and I was always looking at it while I was at work, in the work truck, on lunch. I was like looking at stuff, doing my homework, and it's just like, fuck, I love doing this, man. And I always had my cars on the side. I think I had my Apache at the time. I was always working on it, and I'll be outside. I used to work on the street back then when I had my Apache, and I'll be outside doing the water pump, fucking cooling all over the street, and I'm like out there till 11 o'clock at night because I was obsessing over it. You know what I mean? And so at that point, I was like, fuck, I need to do this for a living, and I found a job at a little diesel shop in Baldwin Park, and he wasn't willing to pay me shit. But I asked him, hey man, I need a chance, and he was willing to give it to me. So I ran the numbers, and it didn't really seem too logical at the time. I had a car payment too, but I said fuck it, so I did it, and I fell in love with it. And once you do something you're meant to do, it falls into place because the pay wasn't good. I was struggling, and then I put the application out for Caltrans. They hit me up right away. I got the job. I was making a little bit more, and then it just snowballed. Everything started working out. So you just gotta take that leap of faith, even when nobody's believing in you.
So you said it right there, dude. You said it with, I wasn't making that much, and that's what we fucking say from the beginning.
We preach that
bro.
a lot, man. Sometimes you gotta make those sacrifices. Take that one step back so you can fucking make two forward further down the line. And then nowadays, I say this all the time. Nowadays, where we're at right now, a lot of people want this shit now. I want the recognition. I want the money. I want the fame. I want everything right now. Yeah, and that's the sad part. That's the sad part about it,
Nobody knows anything about delayed gratification anymore.
There you go.
Exactly, and and I feel like you get to that point, you're gonna look like for lack of a better term, you're gonna look like a fucking idiot because you fucking I could just go get this piece of paper real quick, and I can go fucking get this other certification, and then I can apply and get in.
Yeah.
But you skip that whole fucking mess of like working at the hotels, working at the shipyard like I did, fucking learning the bare minimum of what fucking tool does what, because you'd be fucking surprised, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see how you can fucking, and shouldn't probably fucking say it, but I don't give a fuck. The table's for everything and anything. When you have somebody who doesn't know what a fucking pair of channel locks are.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? At least I could fucking say that I, know how to turn tools. I know how to fucking turn a wrench.
Exactly.
And to do that, I had to fucking start at fucking, shit money.
Yeah.
I did.
You
I
do.
did.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You have to.
But I fucking got to where we're at, and
right.
I'm competent in what we do.
Sacrifice.
I could fucking say that. And and it's a big sacrifice.
You have to, though. At some point, you got to grow up and, you got to say, like, you know what? I got to do this. And you got to sacrifice either it's your time, money, or both. You know what I mean? And, as busy as I am, I'm happy doing this. I'm happy being busy. I had a few speed bumps along the way,
of course,
being this busy, but I'm happy doing it, bro. You know what I mean? And it's because I'm doing what I love. And that's a true fact, man. You're doing what you love. You don't work.
Exactly.
It's not work no more, I could be wrenching. After this, I'm probably going to be wrenching. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to be doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
there you go. But that's what you love. And see, we were talking about this the whole idea of the podcast and shit like that. And we were talking about how we got our name, Unusual Friends and shit.
Yeah.
Look, bro, you showed up. We didn't know each other, right?
Yeah.
Just right off the bat, from what you did and what I did and what he did, made that connection. Right. I could say you were working construction. I was working as a welder for a contractor at the Terminal Island at the Coast Guard base.
Nice.
I hated that shit, bro. I hated that shit, bro. Because, when the welding was done, they kept you on contract. We were over there fucking digging out potable water tanks, sandblast grit, bro. Coming back home like, fuck, bro. Not even wanting to sleep.
All that stuff in your nose.
Yeah. Getting home and I was like, so fucking tired that I didn't even want to go take a shower. I'd rather sleep on the fucking floor.
Dude, I've done that, bro.
Than to have to fucking, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go fuck my bed up. I'm going to sleep on the floor. What's the fucking point? I got to get up and
You're just laying there with your boots on.
Yeah.
Like, fuck,
3 hours and my mom's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, dude, I have to get up in another 4 hours to go do that shit again. Like, there's no point.
Right.
There's no fucking point. And it's like, that's when I got to the point. It's like, it's same thing you said, bro. Oh, I don't want to fucking do what my dad did, kind of. You know what I mean? I could make money welding. I could be a welder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When my dad, go to school. Go get your license. Go get your boiler license.
Right.
You don't see me coming home fucking dirty and tired every day. Go get your boiler license. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me, fuck that. I'm gonna be a welder.
Fuck no,
I'm gonna be a fucking welder, right?
Right.
Well, muy chingon, almost lost my fucking eye, and then we get back to the point where it's like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna go there.
You know what? You're right.
You're right. You're fucking right. You know what I mean? And same thing. We tolerate what we do. Yeah. I mean, I can't fucking say enough how what we do, bro. I mean, we're fucking blessed, dude.
Yeah.
I can't for what we do, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's we're able to fund this. We're able to do, the
Whatever
cars,
we
the
want,
bikes and
cars,
shit like that.
everything.
It's like, you know what? It's a trip. But like I said, we didn't know you. We made that connection. That's what this shit is all about.
Exactly.
Is at the end of the day,
Yep.
as unusual as we are, we could all have that common interest in shit.
Have that common interest.
And people go through the same shit, you know. Everybody, it may be a little different in the sense, but at the end of the day, you find your fucking path. And like you said, once everything fucking clicks in, you're like, all right, yeah, this is what I was meant to do. And shit.
Exactly. Yeah, and you don't know till you try.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Don't know.
And that's the message, man. Just go and do it.
Yeah,
you know?
just do it.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, it's a trip, like you're saying about your dad. Like, dude, when you're growing up, it's like you're just fucking hard headed as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not till you start getting older, you're like, fuck. Everything they said was right. They're fucking right.
Yeah,
It's a cliche, but it's true, man.
And parents, like, as far as mine, and I think Jose's a little different case, but I mean, as far as mine, we're like, look, dude, we're gonna let you do whatever you want, but you got to bring it up as far as like, okay, if this is what you're gonna do, you better show us some sort of way that it's gonna be. You're gonna be financially, not like, okay, I want you to make like a living right out the jump, but you better show us that it's gonna be something that you could build a career off.
Something
of.
sustainable.
Yeah.
And so once I did that, it's like I took that jump into the fabrication world and shit. It was like, well, fuck. Seeing what it was firsthand, working for like, we're making money right now, but it's like, got no life. You get home and it's like you're fucking that.
Burnt
I don't
out.
give a fuck what type of everybody could say, oh yeah, this is hard, bro. When you're over there lifting fucking hatches for ships.
Oh man,
That's crazy. The hatches, dude. The waterproof hatches that are fucking solid steel.
Yeah.
Lifting them up with two guys, because you can't get no fucking. You could put a come along somewhere sometimes, but like as far as like shifting them over to move them, dude, you have to carry them in, tacking them in, and then welding them, dude. And I'm fucking green. I'm fucking 18 years old in this shit, and it's like, fuck, well, I gotta make it. I gotta make this shit work. You know what I mean? Fucking first day I was like, fuck, this is what this shit's gonna be.
What did I get myself into?
And then I was like, I was thinking we're coming around to fucking, Friday. I'm like, fuck yeah, finally 2 days off, and they're like, no,
work Saturday.
no, like, what do you mean? We're behind on this job. That's how you got in. Like, you're here Saturday and Sunday. We're working through, bro. Like, you probably aren't gonna get a day off till like maybe like in a month or two. And I was like, a month or two?
Yeah.
And at the first you're like, fuck yeah, well, let's go, let's make this money. But then it gets like,
it gets old.
dumb. It gets old and dumb quick.
You start making the money, but you can't spend it. And
exactly.
Because you don't have no life.
yeah. So it's like, and you say everything kind of happens for a reason. Everything, the speed bumps are just checks to get you into the right way, in the right position. It was just, that's how it worked out for me, and it panned out for me. But it's like, and I feel like for the dudes who don't go to college and don't follow the fucking general, path, I feel like it makes you work even harder along the way.
Yeah, it definitely does. You gotta learn that work ethic. Sometimes people are born with it. Some aren't. Some learn it. But you got that work ethic, and you're doing what you love. There's no turning back for sure.
Because we say that too. It's like, hey, yo, don't just think it's gonna be a clear cut path to get to where you're at and where you want to be. It's gonna be probably twice as hard as if you go to college. It's going to be twice as hard because it's like at the end of the day, you're competing with, as you were competing with for Caltrans, you were competing with people who are, in their fucking late 30s, early 40s, who have been in trades and have this fucking
these guys,
years of experience or whatever. Yeah.
I shit you not, some of those mechanics there are fucking badass.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to be doing this full time, or as much people tell me I should be, the stuff I learned there helps me a lot, especially in the mindset. You know what I mean? Like the other day, I was working. I worked on the homie's 50. He had a Fleet Line, badass fucking car, right? And we were trying to get him for the Moms Fest show last weekend. And I was doing something totally different. I did something on his. I did the valves and the carburetor. I went to go test drive it. The brakes were going to the floor. And I was like, fuck. Most people are gonna be like, oh, I don't have time to fix it. Sometimes, you know what I mean? But that when you get that mindset that I learned from, working at Caltrans and working with legit mechanics, I can't let him take his car that. Now it's my problem because I seen it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if I can't just say, okay, well, your brakes are bad, but I'm going to have you come back later because I don't have time to do it. I can't do that, man. There's no way. It kind of set me back on my schedule because I had other stuff I had to do for other people, but I couldn't let them leave like that. I had to do it. But that's... those kind of things that I learned, working for the state and being an actual mechanic, it helps a lot, especially with these cars. Because, at the end of the day, they're not built like how modern cars are. So you got to think a little bit further ahead with working on old cars. Mm-hmm. Not just bombs but like like C10s, bugs. It doesn't matter. Old car's an old car, And you have to develop a certain mindset as a mechanic, looking ahead, thinking ahead before... Okay, if I do this a certain way, you already know what's going to happen. It might snap. You develop that feeling in your hand. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, I don't know where I was going with that. But, you know what I mean?
That's all good, man.
Whatever I meant by that. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, shit. But yeah, I think that's a good way to end it off there. Went on our little tangents and things like that. But anything we got coming up, James?
Fuck.
Probably not, huh? I think
we're working for the next till Christmas.
Yeah, till Christmas.
Oh, really?
This is a final push before the end of the year. So
I'm trying to get that little extra money,
Get that bag secured. But
secure the bag.
Well, I got fucking Isaiah working on my truck.
Yeah, that's the next thing.
Next
right?
month.
Yeah,
next month, we're already fucking there.
It's already next month.
So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We got that, and then after that, we're gonna try to fucking maybe do like a fucking Diego run to fucking break her in, because I'll be able to go a little bit faster than 55, hopefully.
Run.
Yeah, San Diego. I've never taken my truck that way.
Oh, really?
So I would, and the only reason I haven't is because of the fucking freeway over there. People drive like fucking animals.
Oh, yeah, on the
So
5,
I don't
right?
want to. So I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I want to be able to go at least 65 instead of 55, because at least I'm going a little faster, even though people are going fucking 80 and shit. But we got fucking. Not really fucking anything in the books yet.
It'll come up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
I can't really say anything off the bat, but...
Yeah. What about you?
What do you got going on, Isaiah?
When? Today?
Or no, in
in
general, man.
Oh, man. The same
Anything
thing,
you wanna
different
share?
day, man. Just, working on people's cars. Actually, it's funny what you said about San Diego. I've been meaning to take this thing down there because the guy that I got the car from, we became pretty good friends. I've been needing to take it down there to show him. I have his engine, too, in the garage. I need to deliver that, too. Actually, I might put it on a trailer and... pull the fleet line, you know what I mean? But no, just work, man. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe we'll fucking
some shows here and there.
Maybe when we catch you on a fucking night where you're not wrenching and shit, we'll go do a fucking Diego night run there and back.
Yeah, hit me up, dude.
That'd be
Fucking
cool.
You got my number now.
Reliability run.
Hey, let's see how this shit really works.
Yeah. Let's
Put it to the test. Oh,
exactly.
Fuck. All right, cool.
Well,
Well, yeah, this was episode 33, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see where this goes.
Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.